For Health Connection Radio and Body Chemistry Associates, I'm your host, nutritional biochemist Jay Foster. Well, during Heart Month, which is the month of February, we have a series of presentations, blogs for your information on how to naturally take care of your heart. Last time we talked all about magnesium, which is probably the most important mineral. Others are important as well, but magnesium for the heart. Today we want to talk about cholesterol, and it's very misunderstood. Even by top cardiologists, it seems. I just saw a report on a blood test, and the doctor's office plugs in information, and when the cholesterol, I think it was 221 on this client of ours, and her doctor's information said avoid eggs, avoid meats, avoid even fish that have cholesterol in them. And we know that's just not the way to go, because dietary cholesterol has almost nothing to do with your blood cholesterol. It is ridiculous, and it's embarrassing to have a doctor think that the cholesterol in an egg yolk somehow magically goes through your system unchecked and deposits in your arteries. That does not happen. It is a much more complex process than that. So dietary cholesterol, eggs, butter, high-fat foods don't really cause a problem in our experience. We've had good experience with lowering cholesterol. I had a gentleman with over a 600, it was 625, I believe, come in, and he wasn't having any eggs and very low-fat diet, and his triglycerides were over 3,000. And the doctor had recommended statins, and he wanted to try it the natural way. He came in through our program, and the cholesterol dropped and he started eating more eggs. I told him he could eat as many eggs as he wanted. I think he started eating 9 or 10 a day. And his cholesterol, because of the other nutrients we gave him and what we told him to avoid, came down to 170 in 1 month. His triglycerides came from over 3,000 down to 149 in 1 month without medication. So this is something that the statin drug manufacturers certainly don't want you or your doctor to know. They want them to think that if they put you on a low cholesterol diet, your cholesterol come down. If it doesn't, it must be a Lipitor deficiency, kind of like the way they treat it. But there are natural ways to bring cholesterol down, and we've had good success. We have success with a 600, we have success with 300s, we have success at 250s, 220s, whatever the borderline levels that sometimes they recommend statins for. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't tell you to start or stop a statin or any other medication. Some people come to us and say they would like to try things a natural way, and we put them through our program of testing to find out a real important question. Why is your cholesterol so high? It could be from dietary sources, not from eggs or butter or other high cholesterol foods, but we know that the milk protein called casein, C-A-S-E-I-N, will raise cholesterol levels, and we know that refined sugar will raise cholesterol and triglyceride levels. So those are the two target items to remove from the diet: is sugar and cow's milk products, milk, cheese, yogurt, and ice cream. Actually, heavy whipping cream, the liquid heavy whipping cream, and not the spray can, but the liquid heavy whipping cream, and butter are fine. The rest you have to be careful with. So eggs, butter, and other high cholesterol foods don't cause high cholesterol. The laboratories that initially were doing research on statin drugs way back in the early 90s, this came out of the Laboratory of Animal Science, work done by Merck, who had made the first statin. Several investigators have reported that feeding a synthetic diet of casein from cow's milk and dextrose, which is sugar, to New Zealand white rabbits will raise the total serum cholesterol concentration, principally through an increase in the beta-lipoprotein fraction, that's the LDL fraction, the bad cholesterol, thereby creating a useful model for atherosclerosis research. Because they had, let me tell you, the atmosphere that was happening, they knew that if they could find a new drug that would control cholesterol, it would be a multi-billion-dollar drug like Lipitor and the other ones, Crestor, etc. So there was a lot of work going on in the laboratories to test out these drugs, but at first they have to have an animal model that has high cholesterol. So they would take rats and rabbits and monkeys and put them on high fat, high cholesterol diet, and the cholesterol in the blood was not going up. So they had to figure out how to induce it, because normally those animals don't have a high cholesterol eating their native diets. So they found out by giving some kind of refined sugar, dextrose or sucrose, and the skim milk protein casein will raise the cholesterol and the bad cholesterol. And then they can give them the drug, and the drug brings the cholesterol down. They've proven the drug is effective. It doesn't prove anything about the safety, but it proves it's effective. So it says one example of dietary manipulation is the use of a semi-purified cholesterol-free diet. There wasn't a drop of cholesterol in this diet, but there was dextrose or sugar and casein to induce high blood fats. The high cholesterol associated with a synthetic casein diet has been well characterized, so they know what causes it. They know it's skim milk protein called casein from cow's milk. And then from the journal Atherosclerosis, again, the effects of a cholesterol-free. Understand that there's no cholesterol in these diets that they're giving these animals containing different amounts of casein or sugar. The cholesterol-free casein diet raised the total cholesterol and LDL in laboratory rabbits. In this case, a soy protein diet lowered them. This was written up in the journal called Atherosclerosis in 1989. These have been around for quite a while. Then a human study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. The casein group was the one that had the highest cholesterol. It was American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2002. And then also the homocysteine levels, which we will talk about next time, had gone up with the casein diet. So the pharmaceutical company's own research indicates that cholesterol-free diets, not cholesterol diets, but cholesterol-free diets of dextrose and casein raise the total cholesterol and LDL in rats, rabbits, monkeys, mice, and humans, but they don't tell you and they don't tell your doctor. And the reason is always back to money, why they don't tell your doctor. They don't want your doctor to know this, and most doctors do not. So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, the other trouble is that the statin drugs cause side effects. You may have heard of muscle pain, muscle weakness, but the reason is, and if your doctor does not give you coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, with your statin drug, then they don't know how it works. They don't even know how the statin drug works, or they'd be giving you CoQ10. Statin drugs like Lipitor, atorvastatin, lower cholesterol because they inhibit an enzyme in the liver cells. It's called HMG coenzyme A reductase, if you had to know. And the funny thing is, I know that, and they don't know the name of the enzyme. Well, that enzyme is responsible for production of cholesterol, so if you inhibit that enzyme, you inhibit cholesterol production, and the cholesterol levels come down. The danger is that that enzyme also makes coenzyme Q10, a vitamin-like compound, very essential for the muscles and for the heart. And so when you take a statin drug without taking extra CoQ10, the symptoms of statin drugs are usually due to a CoQ10 deficiency: muscle pain, muscle weakness, rhabdomyolysis, where your muscles are dissolving and they go through the kidneys, and that can kill you, and congestive heart failure. You know, that very important muscle in your chest cavity called your heart also suffers when you deplete CoQ10. And this isn't just coming from me. There's a lot of literature about it. Stephen Sinatra worked with a guy who discovered CoQ10 at Merck, and then they sold it to the Japanese. But Sinatra's book called The Coenzyme Q10 Phenomenon back in 2000, he says the statin drugs used to lower cholesterol and triglycerides affect the liver, deplete CoQ10 from the body, which can lead to congestive heart failure and also an increased risk for breast cancer in women. And Merck has have 2 patents on giving statin drugs with CoQ10 to avoid the muscle pain and the liver imbalance, but they've never exercised them. Here's a Journal of American Association of Nurse Practitioners in July of 2013. Statins' effect on plasma levels of CoQ10 and improvement in muscle symptoms with supplementation. They found a significant relationship between statin intake and decreased serum levels of CoQ10. They say even, and this is the Archives of Neurology, these are not lightweight journals, these are mainline medical journals, This was in 2004, and I'm reading these old ones because we've known this for a long time. Even brief exposure to atorvastatin or Lipitor causes a marked decrease in blood CoQ10 concentration. This could explain the most commonly reported adverse effects of statins, like exercise intolerance, myalgia, which is muscle pain, and myoglobinuria, which is finding your broken down muscles in the urine, as well as liver damage, memory problems, and congestive heart failure. Many people get memory problems from statins because they deplete CoQ10. We're going to talk more about CoQ10 on our third, the show after next. Next time we're going to do the show on homocysteine and CRP and some other markers in the blood your doctor should be looking at for prevention of heart disease and stroke. We know that chromium supplementation can reduce total cholesterol and triglycerides and raise the HDL. That was out of September 1991 Nutrition Reports. Magnesium supplementation may reduce total cholesterol and raise the HDL. It sounds like a commercial for a drug. That was in 1984, Current Therapeutic Research. So we've known this for a long time, and that's why we analyze for magnesium and copper, because copper also plays a role here, chromium. We analyze for those deficiencies. We find those, and we recommend specifically what you need in our Body Chem program. We've had excellent success at lowering cholesterol and triglycerides in our programs because we get to the heart of the matter, what's causing the high cholesterol. We do tests to find out if it could be a mineral deficiency or something else in your diet. And then we make recommendations for natural formulas. We've had some very good success with natural formulas. And this month of Heart Month, the Body Chem programs are on discount. The extra heart check blood tests, including homocysteine and CRP, are on big discount for this up to Valentine's Day. So if you're interested in our programs, now's the time to call and save money. Ask them about the Body Chem program. Tell them you're interested in controlling your cholesterol the natural way. 1-800-CHEMIST is the number to call, 1-800-243-6478. On the web, 1-800-CHEMIST.com. This is Jay Foster on Health Connection Radio, saying thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. We'll be with you again on another blog.